We begin this year's journey in Connecticut, where Joe and Ida DeFrancesco will not soon forget the date of February 8, 2013. 40 inches of snow overnight, fueled by hurricane-force winds, caused the collapse of 6 of their farm's greenhouses. Family members fought for the next 48 hours to save the remaining structures, including their 300-year-old farmhouse, from collapse. Giving up was not an option for the Northford, Connecticut farmer whose passion for agriculture was ignited at age 5 as he planted parsley in his grandparents' garden. Focused on his long-term goals of production and stewardship, Joe designed and built a stronger, more efficient structure to withstand future storms. As a fourth-generation farmer living on the same land that his great-grandfather worked by hand, Joe has recognized the importance of sustainable improvement, including extensive water and soil conservation efforts and biomass furnace installations. After purchasing the farm from his parents in 2009, Joe and Ida began a farm stand which employs 14 people and serves to educate consumers on growing practices, nutrition, conservation, ag policy, and food diversity. Ida directs both the farm stand and the website, social media, and marketing for the operations. Their outreach efforts are not confined to the farm. Joe and Ida are both active in many organizations, including the Farmers Union Beginning Farmers Institute and the Lyman Hall VOAG School, where they have given students skills, training, and internship opportunities. They participate in the Roses for Autism program, which provides opportunities to employ those on the autism spectrum in agriculture, and they partner with Masters Manna, donating 95% of the organization's fresh produce, which is distributed to more than 400 families in need. After 26 years in farming, Joe continues to set goals, including educating consumers, implementing beneficial biological programs, improving soil quality, and increasing access to nutrient-dense food. Joe and Ida are also committed to building something for their children, Joseph IV and William, to steward for their children in the generations to come. James Hitchcock of Tennille, Georgia, knows firsthand the meaning of starting over. As a college student, he was planning a return to the family farm of 4,000 acres of row crops and cattle. A few years later, his family had stopped farming altogether and was faced with the foreclosure of the farm's original 200 acres. Together with his brother, James purchased the acreage and utilized the equipment of his boss and neighbor to begin growing soybeans. When more land purchases became available, his father became a third partner, and the operation now spans more than 2,000 acres and 200 head of cattle. That growth was made possible by setting goals and maximizing the potential of the land. Soil and water conservation is something we take pride in so we can pass a healthy, productive farm on to the next generation, says James. They have improved cattle watering systems, use cover crops and strip tilling, and utilize GPS to minimize over-application. James looks to other successful farmers for ideas to improve his operation. Through his involvement in organizations like the Farm Bureau and the Cattlemen's Association, James networks with other producers to bring home ideas like banding fertilizer and diversifying the commodities he produces. In addition to cattle and soybeans, the farm is now raising corn, cotton, peanuts, wheat, canola, and Holstein bottle calves. James was instrumental in bringing the FFA back to his county school system, and he is also active in his church, the National Corn Growers Association, American Soybean Association, conservation groups, and the Cooperative Extension Advisory Committee. He was named the Young Peanut Farmer of the Year by the Georgia Peanut Commission and won the Georgia Farm Bureau Young Farmer Achievement Award in 2013. As he looks to the future, his ultimate goal is to grow the farm enough to create a position for his wife, Brooke, who currently works off the farm in occupational rehabilitation services. The Hitchcocks have 3 children, Moriah, J.W., and Samuel. Caleb Ragland's story begins in 1808, when the first Ragland began farming in LaRue County, Kentucky. Equipped with a degree in business management, Caleb returned to the farm in 2008 to become the 9th generation to carry on the family tradition of production agriculture. His career was challenged when the hog market collapsed soon after he invested in new facilities for a farrow-to-wean hog operation and signed a 7-year production contract. He successfully recovered from those financial difficulties and has been able to expand the farm through the past several years, purchasing and leasing land spanning into the neighboring county, on which he raises corn, soybeans, and winter wheat. According to Caleb, attention to detail has resulted in successful crop production and increased opportunities to lease and buy land. Zone sampling of soil types, personally applying fertilizer and lime, helps him to improve yields and profitability. Cover crops are seeded with a high clearance spreader into soybeans at yellow leaf drop, adding 3 to 4 weeks of fall growth versus the traditional practice of drilling after harvest. This practice has benefited weed management efforts and reduced erosion. Caleb considers soil and water conservation to be imperative to the future generations of farmers on his land. Just as he seeks ways to grow and improve his farming operation, Caleb also strives to promote a positive view of agriculture to those off the farm. He said, "I believe as a member of the agriculture community that I have a responsibility to tell the story of why we use the practices we employ and use the technology we use to help feed the world." His wife, Leanne, uses social media to tell others about raising their 3 boys, Charlie, Corey, and Carter, on the farm. The Raglands are also active in community and state organizations, including the Farm Bureau, Extension Council, Ag Development Board, Kentucky Soybean Association, and their church. Growing up on her family's farm in New Jersey, Jess Niederer frequently heard her parents encouraging her to pursue a career in law or medicine. However, following her graduation from Cornell University, Jess realized her heart was in agriculture. At age 25, she launched Chickadee Creek Farm, growing vegetables on land leased from her father and borrowing equipment from neighbors in order to start her business free of debt. Innovation has been key in her success as a farmer. Seasonal high tunnels that are movable allow Jess to grow and sell produce year-round. Growing vegetables is demanding on the soil, so she works diligently to improve the organic matter and stabilize the soil's pH in order to efficiently market her crops. She began the first Farmers Market CSA in New Jersey in 2010, beginning with 10 members and increasing to 280 last year. In 2012, Jess's farm was certified organic, and she has run trials on 367 varieties of vegetables and 8 types of cover crops to determine the best quality and yields that will fall within the National Organic Program parameters. With only 19 acres available to farm, Jess places high priority on conservation of soil and water. Working with the NRCS, she utilizes extensive cover cropping, and she creates 150 tons of compost per year using leaves from her municipality. Drip tape and micro sprinklers allow her to irrigate with minimal water, and contour slopes and filter strips reduce erosion. Jess's dedication extends off the farm, where she volunteers extensively in her community as an EMT, and an instructor for agricultural education projects ranging from elementary schools to farm business planning courses. She serves on an Organic Growers Advisory Group, the County Board of Agriculture, and Rutgers Ag Experiment Station Board, Farm Bureau, and other farm organizations. Through farmers markets, social media, newsletters, and open house tours, Jess remains committed to offering access to her working farm to help others understand the origins of their food. In his 11 years of production agriculture, Kevin Wolski of North Dakota has had two priorities: providing for his family and expanding the farm's acreage. Since setting that goal, Kevin has increased his acreage from 1,260 to 5,706 acres, on which he grows soybeans, wheat, edible beans, and corn. His family has expanded along with the farm. Kevin and his wife Jennifer are raising 8 children: Caden, Grace, Emma, Haley, Reagan, Callan, Crew, and Aaliyah. In addition to her parenting duties, Jennifer also manages the farm's finances and employee wages. A degree from North Dakota State University in Ag Economics prepared Kevin to take over the management of his parents' farm soon after his college graduation. Following his father's retirement, Kevin began the farm expansion and exploration into new production techniques and technologies. 3 years ago, he began raising foundation and registered hard red spring wheat for Monsanto Century 21 genetics and NDSU. 4 of those seed varieties will be sold to the general public, with 3 varieties reserved for the breeding companies. His crop rotation of legumes and small grains prevents the problem of herbicide-resistant weeds. Tile drainage, grass waterways, and technology implementation have minimized erosion and improved efficiency in soil and water conservation. NDSU recently mapped most of the farm's acres, providing information on stand count, population rates, crop damage, weeds, saturation, and soil data to help improve variable rate applications. Kevin considers new technology to be an important component in making sure the farm can be passed on to the 4th generation of his family. As the parent of 8 children, Kevin deems community involvement important. He serves on the school board and the County Ag Improvement Association, as well as the Elevator Board. Other organizations include the Water Resource District, Joint Water Board, his church council and Sunday school, and the NDSU Carrington Research Extension Center Advisory Board.